The following video is for the sole purpose of education. In no shape or form are my opinions supposed to comfort anyone. These are my very, very personal opinions that I'm going to share with you here. And in no shape or form either am I intending to shame or cause anyone pain or to put anyone down. I wanted to put this disclaimer firsthand before I begin my video, that if by any means you think that you'll become offended by watching this video, please exit immediately, because I will share my very personal opinions regarding the immigration reform, or if you can categorize it under the reform for immigration here in the States. To begin with, I'd like to point out that I am an immigrant myself. I am an immigrant who migrated in a lawful manner, as the provisions were set by the law, and the channels that were made were also created by law. Everything has always been kept lawful when it comes to the immigration process of mine. Now, I'd like to share a little story before I get into what my opinions are regarding the immigration reform. When I migrated to the States, I migrated under a visa. We claimed asylum as refugees from political persecution from the previous nation that we resided in, which was a communist government. We claimed asylum in the States, and we were considered refugees, lawful immigrants, who held a green card from the range of 5 to 6 years. After that, I took my oath of allegiance to become a United States citizen. Now, I am a very proud citizen who abides and is lawful and law-abiding citizen. Now, my opinion regarding this reform is that it should not proceed, or it should not be passed as a bill. The reason why I share this view is because even though I know that there's a lot less fortunate people who have the right to be free and should be given the right to free themselves from persecution, when you migrate from a different country into America, I think that the person's background should be taken into consideration. And even though I am against a reform, I am all for individualized cases. That means that everyone is going to be treated differently from a case-to-case scenario. And what I mean with that is that someone who comes from a government that persecutes them cannot be seen or dealt with as someone who simply wants to migrate for, I don't know, for the pursuit of happiness. I understand that everyone is entitled to the pursuit of happiness, and it is one of the rights provided constitutionally to United States citizens. But people migrating to the States are not citizens. Keep in mind that if you migrate to the States illegally, you are, I'm sorry to say, but you are a criminal, because you are breaking the law. So the first step is already broken when you migrate to the States illegally. The channels need to be followed so that when you set your first step in America, you already have papers. I don't think that anyone that is currently standing in this soil illegally should have the right to become legal. Now I understand that these are very harsh views that I share, and I understand. And you might ask, well, if you were given the opportunity, why can't I receive those same opportunities? I think I've very clearly stated before that it doesn't apply to everyone equally. Some people have no choice other than to migrate. I understand that. But the law has made it to where if you come here illegally, you are a criminal because you are breaking the law. Now the second step I wanted to make was that the United States is in an economic recession, and it's not by any means improving. Like I said initially in my disclaimer, these are my opinions. The current administration is attempting, but is doing extremely poor at improving any aspect of the nation or of the country. Therefore, I do not support the current administration. However, and that is the Obama administration, I believe very strongly that why would the United States appeal to someone or attempt to aid or help someone who on the long run will not do the same in return? That means that if the United States, USCIS, provides an individual the opportunity to become legal as a legal resident or with some sort of visa, whether permanent or temporary, that individual is going to be focused in what they are going to be doing to help those back home instead of helping this economy flourish or develop further. Therefore, that's another aspect which I am against, because on the long run you're going to be benefiting yourself and you're going to be selfish. That means that, yes, of course, if you're going to be legal, of course you have to pay your taxes. That is something that you must do. However, if you aren't going to spend or invest that money that you earn locally here, you're not helping the country grow. And that should be one of the top priorities. If someone is willing to do something good for you, wouldn't you do something good in return? And I just don't see it in a parallel diaphragm. I don't see it as an equal scale. I see it more as someone leeching in a way. Once again, my opinions. And I'll end the video by once again mentioning the fact that I do not support the proposed or the current immigration reform because of the simple fact that it is another attempt from liberals or the left wing at continue to further destroy the nation, and anything that is proposed with the intention of destroying or debilitating or removing any sort of American tradition or any form of constitutional aspect of freedoms that individuals possess, or, needless to say, anything that will harm the nation or the country shouldn't even be taken into consideration. But unfortunately, we have a lot of Democrats in power that the sole purpose is for them to destroy not only their nation but the people in it. Therefore, I'm going to conclude my video with my final conclusion and my final statement, which is, if you're going to have a system that is going to be fair and just in its proceedings, it cannot be a generalized system. That means making the statement that all of these individuals or all these individuals are going to become legal now because this or this or that. No, there has to be requirements, there has to be strict rules and regulations to be followed before a case is even attempted to be open, and it shouldn't be a 1, 2, 3 easy process. Okay, it should be literally, if you are wanting to become a legal immigrant in this country, you need to speak the language, and that's a requirement. In my opinion, that should be the #1 requirement. And the second requirement would be being of good moral character, making sure that the person who you are trying to admit as a legal resident or a legal immigrant is someone who will be expected at least to do no harm to this country. That's all I have to say. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.